Today, I want to tell you guys a little story about something that's happened to me about a week ago. And this can easily be classified as maybe not the worst day, but the most annoying day I've had in a long time. So, in order to understand the story, you need to know that at my university, we have a mandatory PE class. Now, in order to pass this PE class, you need to get 10 attendance points. But in case you can't go to, or you just don't want to go to the PE classes, you can just go to basketball games that the university team plays in, and you'll get 2 attendance points per game. So last week, because I've already skipped this class a few weeks in a row, I decided to go to one of the basketball games so I can get the 2 attendance points. And I didn't really want to go alone to this game because that would be kind of boring. So I hit one of my boys up from uni and I was like, yo bro, do you want to go to this game on Sunday? Because the game was on a Sunday at 6 p.m. And I don't live in the same city as my university, and I usually go home on weekends by train. So in order to go to this game, I was supposed to get a train ticket that was earlier than my usual train ticket, which I already bought. So I basically had to change my ticket to go to the game. So after I texted the guy, he replies to me and he's like, oh, why would I want to go to see some other guys play with balls and shit? Like, the guy was trolling me. And I was like, nah bro, be for real. Do you want to go to this game? Because like, I've got to change my train ticket and shit. I just want to know if you're coming or not. And he said, yeah, I think I'm going to go, but I might not go. I'm going to let you know. Like on some complete bullshit. So I said, okay, I'm going to let you think or whatever. I'm going to text you back later. So I text the guy a few hours later and he gives me the same bullshit response. Mind you, the game was the next day, so I really needed to know if I was going to change those tickets or not. So in the end, I decided to just change them and go to the game regardless, even though it was going to be kind of boring. But that's what I did, and the next day I hopped on my train, and when I got to the city, I texted the guy one last time to be like, yo, you said you might come to this shit. Are we going to go together, or am I just going to go by myself? The guy still said the same thing, and finally, like 2 hours before the game, he texted me and said, yeah, I'm not going. And I was like, yeah, well, who could have predicted that? Like, thank you. So I just got up and went to the game by myself. Now, the game was played at this arena that I never went to. And to go there, I had to take the metro, like, you know, the subway. So I put my brand new shoes on that I just bought like 2 days before. Mind you, some brand new Nikes, bro, Air Maxes. I think I paid like £120 for them bitches. I put them shoes on even though it rained a bit earlier that day, because I saw the arena was like a 5-minute walk from the metro station. So I thought to myself, I'm definitely just going to be walking on the pavement. Like, there's nothing that can happen. The shoes are going to be fine because, you know, I'm in the middle of a fucking city. So I get off the metro, I get out of the station, and basically the station has 2 exit points. And I've never really been to this area of town before, so I don't know my way around. So I just picked a random exit and got out. Then I pulled out Google Maps on my phone to see where I need to go to get to the arena. And it was telling me that I need to go through this park that was like right outside of the metro station, walk through the park for like 4 minutes, and right outside the park you've got the arena where the match was being played. So I did that, and the first alley as you get into the park was not paved. That shit was straight dirt, and it was actually just straight up mud. But it wasn't that bad because, you know, it was like the beginning of the alley, so it was still like transitioning between the nice paved sidewalk and the shit I was about to walk into. Now, when I got into the alley, I clocked one fucking guy that was right next to the first tree as you get into this park, and he was taking a piss. So the fact that this guy was sitting there doing that right as you get on this fucking alley made me think that it was probably not a good idea to go through there, because if the guy thought he was not going to be seen right there, that means people are usually not walking along that way. But right as I was about to turn around, I see some old guy coming from that direction that I was supposed to walk to. So that made me say, okay, that means the alley should be fine. Cause no way some random old guy was just walking through hella mud like that. So I made the mistake to go on that path, and that shit was fucked. The mud was hella fucking deep. It was like walking through moving sand. Like, it was that motherfucking bad. That shit was insanely bad. And I don't know how that old guy did not just fucking fall flat on his face on that fucking alley. Cause bro, I was struggling to keep my balance in that fucking mud. Like, it was that horrible. You couldn't walk straight. And by the time it got that terrible, there was just no point in turning back. Because if I turned back at that point, the distance I walked through that fucking place would have been the same. So it just wouldn't help. Anyways, by the time I finally got out of the mud and I hit pavement again, my shoes had like a huge thick layer of dirt up to like halfway the height of the shoe. So I went and got some leaves and I tried to like clean that stuff, but it just would not come off, bro. The layer was just too thick. Like, after I finished trying to clean it, it looked like I just polished the dirt because I just had a clean layer on top of my fucking shoe. So I just kept walking until I got to the arena. I got inside, bought my ticket, sat down, and the whole time I was just looking at people's shoes to see if anyone had it as bad as me. And bro, I was the only guy with shoes that dirty. And it wasn't just like normal dirty shoes. No, bro, that was some outrageous stuff that was on my shoes. I was basically looking like some homeless idiot that came to see the basketball game. Like, it was that bad. Anyways, I just sat there and watched the game, and then I just hear some guy yelling at the top of his lungs. So I look to my right and I see some fat fucking guy yelling to the players, bro. And that was our coach. That was the coach of my university's team. The guy was probably like 300 pounds. I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, how are you a coach and you look like that? That's not alright. And about 10-15 minutes later, the guy that didn't come to the game anymore texts me and he's asking me, yo, what's the game like? Like, the guy's trying to fucking tease me after I was already pissed because my shoes were looking like an entirely new colorway because they were half brown now. And bro, at some point through the conversation, this guy sends me one of those pictures that you can only see after you click on it. And I click on the picture and I don't know why I didn't think of this before clicking on it, because this guy's done this before. He just does this shit for fun. I click on the picture and there's a huge dick on my screen, and I try to close the app, cover that shit as fast as I can because I'm surrounded by people. I'm surrounded by people that are watching the game, and I pray to fucking God that nobody saw that shit, because imagine being in a public place surrounded by people and you just have a huge cock on your phone screen. Like, that shit is weird as fuck, bro. So hopefully nobody saw that. And yeah, I thought the day can't really get much worse than that. But after I left the basketball match and I made my way back to the metro station, I obviously decided to take a different way to get there. But as I was heading towards that same alley I came through in the beginning, where I basically made a left when I was on my way to the arena, and I didn't even look right. But if I would have looked to my right, I would have seen that right there was the second exit to the metro station. So basically, I could have just avoided that entire thing if I just picked the other exit to the metro. And that to me is just fucking nuts. But yeah, thank you for watching, I guess.